What's up, YouTube? Artisan MC, and I'm just off work. And I was listening to the Angry Man stream from yesterday, and he hit on something that was of interest to me, and I'm still thinking about from the Suicide Squad movie. Right. So one of the things he was talking about yesterday. What's up, Malika? Peace to you. One of the things Angry Man was talking about yesterday is women as perpetual victims and pushing the perpetual victim narrative and seeing that played out in society through media. And he named a couple of Marvel shows, which is true, which is very, very true of what happened. And the Scarlet Witch, she was not held accountable for holding those people and basically torturing them. She held them hostage and she tortured them. And she just walked away from that shit. Right? Same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. The little ginger chick, she didn't actually pay for that shit. She did. She got shot by somebody else. So she didn't really have to pay for that. She was still seen as a victim. But where this hit a light bulb for me was this thing in the Suicide Squad. And this was the one scene in the Suicide Squad that really gave me pause and really made me look at it like, I don't think this is okay. And I hadn't completely put my finger on the words to verbalize why it wasn't okay. And the scene was when Harley shoots General Luna after having sex with him in a very Black Widow fashion, and then sits there and give her speech about how she would be if she got into a man that showed those red flags again. She would kill him because, in fact, killing him would save herself. Right? Now, that shit bothered me. Now, it was played for kind of a laugh in the movie, but I told you guys that that's a real moment. You know what the character has been through. It's a real moment for that character. But the subtext of that is that it's giving women an excuse to kill men. That's what I read from that. Is that when I saw it the first time, it bothered me, and that's what I was thinking. Like, this gives them an excuse. And that was my animal telling me that shit. Like, this is an excuse, right? That Harley is thinking up an excuse why it was okay to kill this man and watch him die in a very suffering kind of way, bleeding out, crawling, for his life, but bleed out on the floor while she's watching him, and she feels nothing for him. She's crying for herself. And what she said she would miss was the penis between his legs. Right? So if I want to get into this idea of believing that people automatically emulate what they see on television and movies and stuff like that, I would have to agree that that's true at some extent, because we know this generation behind me of millennials and Zs, they always do and try to reenact what they see on TV. They always do. They always have. We always thought it was weird as fuck when we were younger and, in our teens and stuff like that. Like, oh, you can't watch this because other kids are watching it, do it. And we'd always think, like, what dumb motherfucking kids are sitting there trying to do that shit? It's a movie. It's fake. Well, these kids have grown up, and these are the same kids you have, eating Tide soap bombs and stuff like that you put in the wash to do your laundry, the Tide pouches. These are the same kids. Okay? That's what the fuck it's doing. So that line delivered in that movie about how she's rationalizing why killing this guy that she just had sex with is okay, and she shouldn't feel anything for her, that she's doing the world and everybody else a favor by killing him. does sound like some feminist, victim shit. Because in that moment, you're not actually feeling any kind of way bad for General Luna getting shot, dying, but this woman he was idolizing and wanted. No, you don't feel shit for him. You laugh at him, but you feel bad for Harley because she liked him and she had to kill him, and you feel a little bit of empowerment for her because she's growing, she's stepping into her womanhood. The fuck out of here! She fucking flat out murdered the dude that she had just had sex with, and told herself a story on why it was justified that she killed him. Couldn't have been that he was just going to kill a bunch of other people, because anybody else in the Suicide Squad would have killed him too. The only difference is nobody else in the Suicide Squad would have had sex with him first. And nobody else in the Suicide Squad was he actually interested in. That's the part that sticks with me. And that was, thank you to AEM for actually speaking on that video yesterday, because that made everything click together for me of why it was bothering me so much. That was one of the scenes in the movie that I really did not like and was still sticking with me in my head. Because one of the things I do when I watch a movie, I don't immediately go to review it. I sit and think about it a bit, at least for a day or so, right? Get my ideas down initially and then think about it a little bit more to see what the feel is on the movie and what the material is that I saw. And that scene keeps coming back. It sticks in my consciousness. Now, if it's sticking in my consciousness and I'm aware of it, right? What do you think it's doing to any fucking female who saw it? It's sticking in their consciousness too. And it's giving them a justification that if you believe that this guy will cause more harm to other people, well, you're totally justified in killing him because you're saving yourself and you're saving all those other potential victims, right? That's the logic, right? That's where the logic tracks. This is one of the things why I really look at media and society and watch, because you can always see the strings being pulled on puppets, right? And what people are really trying to do with society. But you have to be paying attention to it as a whole. And one of the reasons why I like Geekdom is because you can see that shit playing out, because that's one of the venues, the main thoroughfares to putting this stuff out there. Outside of the television, you can work some stuff in a paper medium really easily and test it out and see how it works. You can get away with it for years. You can. And start that groundswell, that grassroots feel for people giving a fuck about this. Right? Malika wrote a book, and I can't really read it right now because I'm driving. Let's see what that is. Yeah, I agree with you, Malika. It's a cover. It's really a cover. So that scene and what AM was saying really did stick. It did stick. And so that's it. That's why that sticks out, because it didn't make any sense. One, like I told you, that whole scene with her having that date with that guy or whatever was fucking pointless. They could have threw that shit away completely. But if you throw that away, you don't get that scene with her killing him. And I told you guys they needed a way to get her there to kill him. And that's why they did all that other bullshit. Well, maybe all the other bullshit was done in service of that scene so Harley can deliver that fucking speech. All right for that. I will hang people, or I shouldn't say hang, like, but I will see vengeance done on people all day for stuff they've actually done. Actually done. Not what you think they did, not what it felt like to you, but what they've actually done. Yeah, you can get their ass all day for that. But I'm not a fan of proactively. Well, they could have did this, so it's okay if we do this to them. No, see that gets into that Minority Report type of fucking shit. Like, we're going to prosecute you for what we think you possibly could have done in the future, even though you could have completely changed your mind or never did it at all. But we're gonna decide we know exactly what was going to happen and act as if. Nah, that's some bullshit. That doesn't work. What the person does, yeah, get them all day. What you think they was going to do, you got no qualms. You have to wait. Either you catch their ass in the act, or you catch them after the fact. But you're not going to be catching them before anything was actually done. That don't make it right. No, that's not justice to me. So that's it on that. Other than that, what was the other thing I had? I had a funny joke, or not a funny joke, a funny situation for yesterday from when I tried to put this stream up initially, which was just the tyranny of lesser men continued. And as you guys know, I'm on my new job. Today marks the first week of it. And it's going all right. Slower pace, more manageable work, more money, less I have to actually be worried and responsible. Okay, cool. What's up? I'm listening. Yeah, like the video. Like, share, subscribe, donate if you feel so inclined. And there was a little bit yesterday pseudo dick measure, and not on my part. So I have to be vague because I can't say none of this stuff about who I work for and that shit. But basically, me and the guy I'm shadowing got called to this residence to help the guy that was there because he couldn't get a door to close. Okay. He had called somebody else to help him. They couldn't help him. And so they called for the guy that I'm shadowing to come help him. And since I'm shadowing him, I'm with him. We get there, there's four of us there. It's one door, four guys. Now what the problem is that the door is not closing, right? It's not closing all the way. It won't latch. And it has self-closing hinges and a door closer on it. And the guy they sent to work on it can't get it to work right. And the guy that was there trying to help him, or he's shadowing, whatever, can't get it done either. They were there for an hour apiece, right? Okay, no biggie. So we come there, me and a guy I'm shadowing, and we start looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I have a background in doing doors, hanging doors, setting doors as a carpenter. Wood, metal, it don't matter. It's easy peasy for me, right? I see it, I know what's going on with it, I know what's wrong with it, I can fix it. And short over with just my damn Leatherman and a piece of cardboard. So I see what's going on with the door, and I jump in to help the guys. And one of the things that's the problem with the door, outside of the closer being set in the wrong place, is it has 3 self-closing hinges on it. Now, if you know anything about self-closing hinges, they're under a lot of torque, right? You don't need three of them on one door, especially if the door is really light. You don't. So I don't know who put them on there, but one of the things off the bat is that two of them are going one way, one is going the opposite direction. One of the things in carpentry that you will learn if you've ever done work, look, make it all look the same. You're going to put one hinge on backwards, and then you're going to put another one on backwards. That third one needs to look like the other two. Don't put that last one on right. Don't. Put it on the same way you put on the other two. Fix it the next time you do it. Because you want everything to look visually the same, right? All right, I take the hinge off, I pop the hinge off, take his drill, use his drill, put it on there. And now we get into the part of me stepping in to actually help this guy fix this door because he doesn't know what he's doing. And somebody sent him to do it. And the guy that was there to help him didn't know what he was doing. But he's the more experienced guy. Guy I'm with doesn't really fix them. He's saying one other thing. He usually gives it to somebody else. Okay. I know how to fix it, or at least have enough experience with it to troubleshoot and fix what's wrong with this thing. Now, if any of you want to test this theory out off the bat, you go and look on a door at your office or something like that. Any door with a door closer on it. The door closer is just the big metal piece that's on the door. It has an arm on it. And when you open the door, it pushes the door back closed. Okay? Put the door closer on it. And look how far away from the hinges that door closer is. See how close it is. Now, from the jump, you look at it. When I look at this door that the guy's working on, door closer looks like it's in the middle of the goddamn door. Like literally almost in the middle center of the door. Which means it's not closing shit. There's holes all across the trim because they've had to move the arm a couple of times. Now, I start fooling and futzing with this thing. I flip it over and get myself reacquainted with putting on door closers because there was a time I did this all day. But that time may have been more than 10 years ago. Don't matter. But like riding a bicycle, once you start doing it, you start remembering all those tricks that you knew to hang this stuff up and what you need to be looking for. This is where you get into the part about older guys knowing, forgetting more than most people know. In this situation, it was exactly true because stuff I wasn't even thinking about anymore, I had to remember, and the three guys that was there didn't know it at all. Two of them been on this job a long time. I'm new. The guy they gave the job to do this to was new. He only been there about 3 weeks. So I fool with it and fuss with it, and then I'm getting my bearings again on what's going on with it. So I'm fixing it and fixing these screws that they put into it because the door is really thin metal. It's a cheap door, so there's really not anything to put these big ass screws in that they drilled in there. It's a metal door. They're using wood screws on it. So I'm teaching them what I know, and it made me laugh at a point because I had that same moment when I did my Tyranny of Lesser Men video. Same moment where some dude saw me doing something, and he's already told me, oh, I'm a carpenter too. Really? And I do something simple, and he's never seen that before. All right, get the fuck out of here. Right? So I'm helping the guy. The guy is really listening. I actually start getting back to like something still isn't right with this. Where's the instructions for this thing? So he went back and found the instructions that they threw away for this door closer. And then I'm reading the specs on the door closer. And while I'm reading the specs, he's asking questions. And I'm teaching him how to set a door closer and how to read the specs in the instructions that came in the box with the closer on how to do this. Now, the guy he initially got to help him, who thinks he's a know-it-all, comes back in. So now he wants to give me 20 questions on my validity for why I'm saying what I'm saying and how right or wrong I am. Now he wants to try to pull out his dick. And I think he said something like, what kind of trick did you use to figure that out? How do you know it's going to work? I held it up because I read the instructions. Oh, I never read those. I just throw those away. You need to read them. There's specs in here. Oh, well, you sure you know what you're doing? I'm a journeyman carpenter, dude. Yes. I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. Well, I'm a carpenter too. Really? What kind of carpentry did you do? Oh, I did wood framing and metal stud framing on houses and stuff like that, high-end construction. I was like, oh, so you're a fucking framer. Yeah, we never did stuff like this. We just let the other guys do this. Oh, yeah. Because this is interior work. Yeah, we never did that. So I get through all this bullshit with this motherfucker. Big old tall dude. What's up, Double C? And it turns out this motherfucker don't know shit about what I'm doing. But he's trying to critique and talk and question me like he's the authority. And checking me if I'm sure my work is going to work. Now, mind you, this motherfucker's about taller than me. He's probably about 6 foot. Latino, right? Big old grimace looking motherfucker, right? He's probably 35. Probably 35. This is the first time I'm ever even around him doing any work. And he trying to run it down and question me. And then I question him a little bit more about what his level of experience is. And his level of experience ain't doing nothing but framing. No doors, no windows, no closers, no finish hardware, no panic hardware, none of this shit. Just framing. And he questioned me. What up, Herb? So I kind of laughed, right? He keeps asking me questions, and I'm telling him, you know, in some senses, I'm giving him my fucking resume of what I've done. And I'm telling him, no, I did all these doors out at San Francisco Airport. These big ass, you know, metal doors. And I had to go through and put closers, hinges, touch keypads, all this shit on. I did it myself. Which is true. He ain't got none of that experience. He don't know anything about interior work. But he's questioning me about this door. So now he is not sure it's going to work. So he says, so what do we do if that doesn't work? I said, it's going to work. I said, yeah, but what if it doesn't work? I said, I'll tell you what, man. You want to do it? Oh, no, man. I don't want to do it. I said, well, you can do it. I don't even know how to do it. Then shut the fuck up. This is what I told him, man. You can shut the fuck up. Because if you don't know how to do this shit, you're not qualified to question. And not question in the sense that you got some authority. What you gonna do if it don't work? What kind of bitch shit is that? Shut up. I'm here to help the two of you goofy motherfuckers who couldn't get it to work. It don't matter if what I do don't work. But I tell you this, I read the goddamn instructions that he throws away and never uses because he just thought they were bullshit. I said, once you did one, you did them all. No, every door is different. It's a different situation. You have to follow the spec because you have to know what you're working with. This motherfucker didn't even know how to read the spec. This gets me to the point of telling you guys why some of the shit in construction will be really fucked up is because these motherfuckers are illiterate. A lot of them can't read. That's why a lot of them don't read blueprints. That's why a lot of them stay in the same position for 30 goddamn years and never try to move up, never try to be a foreman, never be a lead man, never be a superintendent because they can't do the rest of the job. They can't read the paperwork on the work. And I'm not shitting on them about it because some dudes just ain't educated like that. I'm not one of them. So this dude is trying to tell me this, and he wants to know what I'm looking at, so I have to show him the goddamn instructions and teach him how to read it. The same motherfucker who want to try to critique me and don't think I know what I'm talking about. I teach him how to read the instructions. How you check your door, your spacing, which way it's supposed to be facing, what the two knobs on one side are for, your closing speed, your latching speed, your spring tension. I have to give him a whole fucking tutorial on what I just did and took 10 minutes doing to where he didn't know anything about that. Motherfucker didn't even know how to shim out the goddamn door because it was rubbing at the bottom. Like, oh, we're going to have to take the whole door off and order a new door. I said, you ain't got to do all that shit. What are you talking about? Man, just give me a piece of cardboard and the screw gun. Reset the door plumb without a level. That was the shit he had never seen before. Oh, I never seen nothing like that. Tips and tricks. Yeah, I'm a journeyman carpenter. This is what I do. I know how to set a door. Yeah, he's a Latino. Always a Latino. Here. Always a Latino dude. I'm about to get my oil changed up. Always some big dummy who got his position because he was related to somebody and think he know it all and want to be somebody's boss. But he's too dumb to be anybody's boss, let alone his own. So after that, he wanted to know everything. And I taught him. Why? Because as a journeyman carpenter, not just a carpenter, not just a carpenter's apprentice, as a journeyman carpenter, I am a teacher. I know how to do this shit so well that I can teach an apprentice. If you put an apprentice, first period, green as fuck, don't even know what end of the hammer to swing, you give him to me, I will turn him into a journeyman carpenter. I teach them everything I know. And I got a pretty big goddamn head. I tried to learn everything. I wanted to know everything. And I have an issue with anybody teaching me anything. White, black, Latino, I don't give a fuck. I learned it all. That's why I can walk into a job and ain't nothing that you're doing new to me. Like I had today with somebody trying to explain to me how to put a dishwasher together. Like I've never worked water lines. I just told you yesterday, motherfucker, I had my own company for 5 years. I was doing this myself. I didn't have to hire anybody else. Only thing I hired somebody for is when I got finished running the electrical to the junction box outside, you handle that. I'm not touching that shit. because I'm not an electrician. I'm not. I can wire up everything else. I'm not touching that sub panel. Fuck that. That's a special skill. And that's what I told the guy about setting doors and closers, and why when he was just framing houses and stuff, that there was a whole separate crew that came in and did the doors and stuff. I told him because it's a special skill. Because not everybody knows how to do it. Just like building stairs, just like excuse me, framing, foundations, interior finish, paneling, tiling, painting. It's all special skills. But it all used to be under one trade, the master craft, a carpenter. I'm the master craft. I'm not a piecemeal dude. This guy was a piecemeal dude, a fucking framer talking to somebody who could lay out his whole fucking job with a set of blueprints and build it. And go back and forth with the architect to fix shit if it's wrong. He don't know what he's doing, but he want to tell me about a goddamn door closer if it's gonna work. Oh well. They work cheaper. Yeah, double C. It's never about better. It's always about cheaper. And more bodies, the better. No, Malika, he wasn't embarrassed when he left. When he left, you know what he did? He actually tried to give me some dap, because at a certain point, when I told him to, after I told him to shut the fuck up, unless he wanted to do it, because that's the option. If you got so much nitpicking and shit to say, you don't think this, you don't think that, okay, here's the drill, here's the closer. You put it in, me and him can leave. This ain't my job. I'm here to help you. Remember? You call for help, not me. And I'm the one who showed up, who actually knows what the fuck I'm doing and can help you. The dude that I'm shadowing took his ass outside for a minute. And I don't know if he talked to him or not. But when he came back, he was a bit calmer and shutting more of the fuck up. Yeah, double C, strictly on nepotism. Right place, right time, right color, right person to know. Damn sure ain't on skill. So a lot of what some of these dudes do is fucking hack work. And if you've never been in a trade, don't understand what hack work is. Hack work is somebody who doesn't know how to do what they're hired to do. They don't. And so they slipshod everything together, like using wood screws on a metal fucking door. You don't do that. That is a rookie kid mistake. And if you let somebody do that, you're a fucking idiot, because you don't use wood screws on a metal door. It's not going to hold, which it didn't. It pulled the fuck out. So who had to go back and fix it and actually use the machine screws and tap out the holes without a tapper so it would take these screws? The dude that has to get all the questions, because I'm just a new guy. I must not have known anything. Double C, I never really understood what a master carpenter was. And a master carpenter for me, just going off Bob Vila and some of those dudes, I've never done a shitload of woodworking and building furniture and shit. That's the only thing I haven't done outside of that. And for me, everybody who calls themselves a master carpenter are people who build furniture and shit like that too. I've never done that shit, so I'm not saying I'm a master carpenter. But in union terms, I'm a journeyman carpenter. Hold on one second. All right, fellas, sorry about that. I'm pulling up to get my oil change, and the guy, since I'm in a decent mood, the guy showed up with jokes, and I had better jokes than him, so we're having a. He's like, I'm supposed to be the funny one in this shop. That's how I got hired. Like, I'm sorry, I'm making it easy for you at the end of the day. Anyway, I'm about to get interrupted a few more times, but that's what it is. In union terms, I'm a journeyman carpenter, which means in California, I have spent so many thousand hours of fucking training. I've gone to so many classes over the course of 4 years and done this. So it's like having another damn degree. And the classes that I've gone to have been in every phase of construction, all the way up to welding. Welding is like the last class you get. And you can be a certified welder leaving that class. I was like one point short of that or some shit. But you do everything. Fuck. Sorry about that. Got an alert on my phone and was trying to swipe it away, and it went to the damn thing. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And being a journeyman carpenter is one thing. There's a lot of people who are journeyman carpenters, but it's not a lot of people who are journeyman carpenters who get as much experience doing everything that you do. Some people find their niche and just stay right there. Luckily for me as an apprentice, the advice that I got was to move around and do a lot of different things. So that's what I did. I spent years doing one thing. I spent years doing another thing. And I learned more stuff on the job that I was doing outside of just that one thing. I never wanted to be one dimensional. I always wanted to be multi-dimensional, like a multi-tool. I can get used and do a bunch of different things. So if I stepped on the job site, I wanted to be able to do everything, and that's what I can do. So, how many years did it take? It takes 4 years, Herb. I did it in like 3.5 because I was getting my hours in and doing my damn job. That's it. And Herb, you probably remember this because 99 was when I turned out. I wasn't supposed to turn out until like 2000 because I got in 97. Right? Excuse me. So I ended up turning out early because I was getting my hours in. I was getting my hours in and I was taking my classes. I wasn't waiting. I was getting my classes and I was acing my classes. And the first class starts with history of the trade that you're getting into. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get out of here so I can get this oil changed and talk to these people without having a joke. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today. A couple of two thoughts I was having. So I will catch you next time. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you know the next time I go live. And I don't know, I got to think of something more to catch you. But that's it. Peace.